Hello there. The title of my video today is Help. And did you ever need help? Did you ever call out for help and needed it immediately and it had to be now? Seconds and it would be too late? Well, did you ever think no one would help? And what did that feel like? And how desperate were you? How desperate did it get? And did help come? Did it all work out? Did it turn out okay? I'm going to tell you about my experiences as a lady in her 80s, and I want to tell you that this has happened to me and over my lifetime many times, and it probably has you too. But one day I had worked the better part of the day on my computer, and I was just in tears. Do you ever get in tears over something you can't do on your computer? I was exhausted and so depressed about it. And then I just told the lady, I told the Lord in my tears, I just can't do it. I just can't. You have to help me. I just can't ask my neighbor to help me again, my neighbor friend. I just cannot ask him to help me again because he helps me so many times. And I can't ask him again. So you have to help me. Well, it wasn't even a minute later, not even a minute, and I heard on the door. Well, it was getting kind of late, so I'm pretty cautious in the evening about opening the door to just anybody. I don't know who it is. And so he came in and I said, guess what? God sent you to help me. And so he went in and worked on my computer. And I'm telling you, I don't think it even took him 5 minutes and it was all fixed. What I had struggled with the whole day long. Well, that's one little story. Another little story is I had this one project working on a graphic design program called Canva. And for most people, I'm sure it's quite simple. It is simple for you, but not for me. But my little next door neighbor, who is 10 years old, it was just no problem to her. Excuse me, I just dropped something I wanted to show you. I wanted a logo. And so I had worked at it, and well, I had no luck at all. And this little girl, who is 10 years old, did this in just maybe a half an hour. But isn't that cute? A little 10-year-old girl did that. Now, the lettering on the bottom you can't see because I printed it too big. And so the letters, you can't see them real well. And I'm just amazed with children today, all the things they can do. I think the next day after they're born, they must be in on the computer just working away because there's somehow that they're able to do all that stuff that we can't do. I'm not sure how it is. But so then I had a problem with my printer. I mean, these were just back-to-back things. You know how things come in threes. And my printer wouldn't print. It wouldn't print anything. It wouldn't make copies. It would do anything else, but it just refused to print. And so my son, who lives in Massachusetts, outside of Boston, fixed it over the internet, just in a few minutes. Just zip, 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 and it was fixed, and it was all good. So these are all small things. They sound very inconsequential, but you know how little things can be such a big thing to you? Well, they were all big to me. But I'm going to tell you about one that was big, and it was actually a life and death situation. And so I had taken this little part-time job, and my youngest child was 5, little boy, and it was driving a school bus, a 99 passenger school bus, and it was full to the gilt. I mean, with kindergartners through high school. Well, that's quite a combination. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but So, and we had driven all through the dirt roads and the gravel roads and out through the countryside and delivered everybody. And my little boy and I were on our way back to the bus barn to get our car and drive home. But on the way, we were coming down this big, steep slope. I mean, it was just like that. And it was on the 4-lane highway coming down a hill, and right ahead of us was a big red traffic light. Red. Everybody was stopped. And you know how those work. Only one little person gets to turn at a time and everything. And even the turn bay was full. And this little blue car was sitting in the turn bay, and I knew right away I either had to run over that little car and kill those people, or I had to roll my bus into a ditch and kill my little boy and I. I had that choice. And I just shouted out to my little son, and I said, "Get in the floor, get in the floor." And then I said, "God, help me." And then just as we got to that little blue car, they turned, and I went through the turn bay, and I went across 2 lanes of traffic, jumped over a median, went across 2 more lanes of traffic, got back going straight in the direction I was originally, and my bus just went slow, 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 slow down. And then I sat there, pardon me, I sat there crying. I was so happy I hadn't killed anybody. I was so glad that nothing awful had happened. And then I heard a knock. I turned and looked, and it was a policeman looking in the window of the door. And so I opened up the door, and I thought, I'm dead. If he saw what I just did, I am dead. I'm going to jail for probably the rest of my life. It's going to be awful. And he said, "Lady, you have to get off this bus right away. It's on fire." And I wasn't going to jail. I was quite relieved of that. So he took me, and he took my little boy back to the bus barn, and we got our car and went home. But I'm going to tell you what I learned that afternoon. I learned that God is the best driver in the whole planet. I mean, whole galaxy, whole whatever, the whole system we're in. He is the best driver there is. Because I didn't do that. God did that. He's the one that drove. I asked him to help me, and he helped me. If these videos, if you enjoy them at all, would you please just like and subscribe them and share them with somebody else that you think might find them fun to listen to or enjoy them or find them inspiring?